Quake got open sourced. So I came out in the 90s sometime, I think. And at some point it was open source, but then I think somebody took it and they must have modernized it a little bit in that they added graphics libraries and stuff and then build files so people could play with it. And the next year, and how did you find the support of it?
The base person, it was from Phil actually. So I think he,
Okay.
he searched around for the most modern one, most modern port of Quake, and then he found it, Quake Spasm. And then the only thing that missing is the actual game files. I mean, the actual asset game. So I searched around, I found that there is a shareware version of the game. So yeah, I used that and put them all together, and that works.
Yeah. Yep. So then we have a Quake port that we want to add some multiplayer features to using the AccelByte platform. So we'll do like obviously multiplayer. So add some matchmaking in, and then also some things like achievements, leaderboards, statistics. Yeah. So heavily augmented with some AI assistant, I think.
Well, I use Claude a lot. I use AI a lot to make this work. We can say that I'm vibing the whole way, actually. Yeah, almost everything except until the token runs out, then I do it manually. Before that, it's all vibing. So what I did first was make it work with CMake. I think this quite simple because every setup or every project setup's already there in project file that the AI can read. That's why it's easy to create the CMake list. Once that created, I tried to build on Windows and Linux that works. And then the next thing I tried was creating the C++ SDK. So I took C++ SDK from the repository,
Mhm.
CTP, yeah, this one. It will produce the binaries. Binaries here, and I just simply copy it to that part, this folder here. But I found that actually the code that is currently in master doesn't produce the CMake folder here. So I actually made some modification in the CTP SDK so that it can produce the CMake folder here. What this CMake folder does, it acts like a glue actually to make it easier for the CMake that is in the Quake to recognize the game SDK rather than hooking it manually, mentioning the library one by one. I rather modify the SDK to create CMake file here so that the
Mhm. Mhm.
CMake here can have easier time. So that's what I did. And yeah, it is installed here. And then the next thing, I just simply make some modification again in the CMake list so that it will add the AccelByte SDK, this one. So yeah, I add this option, and for every requirement like CTP file that you need to add, and then the libraries, it add everything. And then you try to compile, and that works up to that point, up to compiling. The next thing will be to call an actual function. And to do that, I told the AI to see the whole architecture of the Quake game so that it can understand better of the architecture so that it can find correctly where to put the code. I decided to put it before the main menu. So before the main menu, the player needs to press any button before the main menu show. So I use that as a trigger to log in. I told the AI that what I want, and then it put the code into menu if I'm not mistaken. Well, that's fine. Login with
Mhm.
login with device ID. Yeah, menu. So this is where it calls the login with device ID. And yeah, before it can call this, actually it creates two files. So it creates the AB integration CPP, this file,
Mhm.
and then the interface AB integration H. This is a C interface because Quake is using C, so
Yeah.
you need C to talk between the SDK and the game. But the body actually calls C++. Up to that point, it works, but it will hang the game while it's make call, because Quake is single threaded, so any call will be blocking. So it blocks the game and it's making logging call. So yeah, at that point the token runs out. So I I do the multi-threading myself. After that, I create another file, edit task runner here. So this will delegate or put any task into a queue that you can run later in the main thread. It's simply just put any callable, any function, put it into a queue, and then this queue later will be executed here in execute task queue. And I simply call execute task queue inside the tick here. There is a tick AB update here, and AB update is called every tick here, host host frame. So host frame is called every tick. So that's that. So now the login call, the login with device ID call will happen in a thread, and then the callback, this one. Previously, this is simply just calling it native like this. So this is what make it block like. So I make it run asynchronously, and then simply make the callback runs on the main thread.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that.
So is it kicks off a thread that would then puts something back in the task queue when it finishes?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I assume then with this, you can no longer just open the solution file in Visual Studio and build it because you only did this CMake stuff to include the SDK, right?
Yeah. So everything is going through CMake now. So that means the solution file is already updated.
Good to know. Cool. So I think interesting places to go from here would be to be able to log in a user. I guess the SDK is taking care of the device ID.
It is actually creating the device ID here.
Okay.
Get it from the
it's
machine
consistent
machine GUID,
okay.
and then it's combining some other thing. I just simply say yes to this, then yeah, that's fine. Any string will do. So
So as long as we get the same one every time we run it on the same machine, that's
yeah.
great. I think the most fun thing would be to put like a do stats and leaderboard or something. And then I think the other thing is also obviously doing some sort of matchmaking. I think the other piece would be trying to report stats up because presumably it's keeping track of at least like frags or some sort of statistics, right? And so pushing those up to our stats service then lets us like keep an aggregate across more games, and you can have like I think you could do interesting things with that.
I think first thing will be try to build this, but just simply make sure that we can build. Okay, let's try to launch. Okay, we can build successfully.
Let's start with that.
Start. Okay. Yeah. So what function that we can call from the SDK?
Yeah. Well, I think we need to find where is it tracking some of these things and interesting things.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. All stat indices are defined in here. There's stat health, stat frag. Okay.
Let's pick one of the stats that looks interesting, and then
Monster kill. We can also use monster kill.
so next, yeah, let's do that one. That sounds fun.
Okay.
So if we find in the code where is it?
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
Update user stat item.
There you go.
But we do need to set up the stat in the admin portal first.
That's right. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's true. key monster here, I think.
And then you say set by client.
I think we don't need the track, right?
No.
Configuration, that is so all.
Yeah, and we want everybody to be able to look up your monster kill stats. So
Okay.
now just have to add to the code and see if it increments. So and then you can go to on the left side under statistic value. There you go. Then you can look that up by stat. Stat code. And it can be put monster that, and then you can, if you click on that, you can click there. Right. And right now there aren't any, but if we get this right and refresh this page, then we'll see the stat.
Okay. Okay, let's go. Okay. So statistic update.
Yeah, there you go. Stat
Update system item. Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Should be only one. Should we call this one or should we call the other one?
I mean, both should work, I think, but I might as well use V2. That's like, unless it's like much more complicated. They look pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
Presumably V2 is because we learned something about V1 that made it not as good. So we made it.
Okay, let's
I think
see.
it looks good. Yeah, just run it and see if it crashes.
Let's go back. Okay. And let's call this from parse.
Yeah.
A, B integration. Found it. Okay. Doing some stat code. Stat code should be key ones. Where this will be one.
Yes.
Strategy mod
Would be also one. Equals one.
equals one. Oh yeah, equals one. Increment. Okay. Ring error, anything? Link error, okay. Static cast cannot convert.
Do we even need that get user function now?
The constant isn't even asked for this for it. Hey, it's compiled.
All right.
Successfully. Debug. Kill monster.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, it might call.
I bet you that. There you go. Yes.
It's updating the stat in the demo.
Go refresh the page. I think we'll see some stats.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
There you go.
Nice. 4 monsters.
Yes.
Victory.
Okay. Alright, so in the previous video, we integrated very simple stat tracking to the game, but we are still viewing the result through the admin portal. Eventually, we want it to show in the game, but first we need to know whether or not we are able to add an additional menu into the game. So yeah, let's explore it now. So I already asked Claude to add a simple UI, and let's make a menu to show the login data. Okay, so here Claude already produced a plan, and the main thing that we need to have an additional menu is adding an enum so that the game recognize it as a additional menu entry in the main menu. So it will show the login ID, the status, and some other thing. Okay, we are done with the coding phase, and now we need to build. Let's build debug for now. All right. The build's done. Let's try to run. There you go. We already have online menu, and here we show the status as connected, and we have the user ID. We don't have a display name because this is a login by device ID. That's why we don't have a display name. And yeah, that's it. It seems that we are able to quite easily add a additional menu into the game. Now we are ready to have our stat tracking shown in the game.
Okay, I'll try to integrate achievement service to the Quake game. Let's picture how I want to implement it. So I'm thinking of adding a new button here and a new menu, like something like that, but a different one for the achievement list. And I want the view to be first the achievement list, and the rest will be all the unlock one. So let's go with that plan. As you might have guessed, I'm using Claude for this one, so I'm just going to make the design for it. Let's see, we want a new UI and the integration. Let's see, we want a new menu by a achievement button and unlock achievement. Let's do a mermaid first. Sequence diagram. Go with this one. Player. Oh yeah, as you might have noticed also, there's rules that I've prepared. So we want everything in this file, every integration, AccelByte integration in this file, and everything else can be in the original file. I'm just gonna change the player to game instead. This would be main menu, query achievement. Wrapper to check its catch first. I want it to request to the SDK. Then I want it to catch the result. Do that. Let's specify catch all achievement. Okay, then I want it to request for the player's achievement. I don't need the catch for this one. Don't want it to catch that. Just request it every time. I think that'll be fine. And then the result. Okay, and I want the wrapper to mark achieved achievement. Let's specify this. Query per achievement to retrieve unlock achievement. And then when the wrapper trigger the UI update delegate for the retrieval, let's make two graph. This is for the display achievement. Then for second one will be for the unlock achievement. I'm not sure where to trigger this yet, so I'm just gonna design the wrapper for it. It will provide the code. Do I need a delegate for this? Callback. I'm not sure what the delegate will do, but just gonna do a callback for now. And I want it to immediately triggers the SDK for it. Then I want the wrapper to trigger the delegate. That looks good enough. Yeah. Now let's give this way to Claude. Yeah, this is the result of the first prompt. I haven't done anything yet. So I asked Claude to read my design and I asked it to generate the wrapper only first and not do anything for the UI part. And that's done. This part is done. Let's double check the code. It's 2 files. Yeah, looks good. Save that. Let's go to the next step. Just to make sure this works first. Oh, there we go. Achievement list fetch, total 1. Yep. As you can see here, there's only 1 achievement here. So that's cool. That's true. Okay. Let's move on to the next step, I suppose. The UI implementation. Now let's try to trigger it. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, that's the unlock status. Let's think of what do we want to unlock? What achievement do we want? Let's think of 2 achievements for now. You know, just focus on 1. First frag for first ever kill, flawless win, finish a level. We have these 2 achievements that we want to implement. Let's do that. Here we are. I already made a test achievement that used for the display previously to implement the display list. So let's just do that. Add the first frag achievement. Let's make the code like that. Nope, it's not incremental. No. Let's make that visible always, and let's use a sample, just any random icon for this. Okay. Add that. Yep, and add. There we go. We have a new achievement now. So let's back to the game. Okay, yes. Just no. I mean, I don't need to do anything yet. Yeah, do that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, let's ask. Is there a notification system? There is notification system. Console define line, center of screen. Blocking model. Do I want it to be in the center or do I just want the console notification? Just keep it console, I guess, for now. It already print this. So no, let's just, I want to know how to write a delegate in C. Okay, the second thing is the flawless win. Yeah, I did that. So I need to detect health reduction first, then triggers it at the end of the level. Let's make a diagram for this, because I like diagram. That should be it, right? Yep. Reset the flag, like that. Only do if the flag is false. Unlock flawless kill. Result callback, notify. Yeah, that should be it. Let Claude do everything for now. Oh, table. That's new. I guess just try now. And let's play the game. Okay. Let's see the achievement first. Okay, it lists all 3. And it listed as unlocked. Let's try play the game then. That's cool. Let's try our flawless kill. Can I do this? Okay. Let me check achievement. Okay, there we go. It's updated. It's working. The first frag is working. The flawless win is untested. It's quite alright. Yes, that's good enough for now. Yeah, it's integrated. Integrated nicely. Oh, you know what? You know what I can do? I can do something else. So the achievement, there is another type of achievement that is tied to statistics. And as we see, that's already a statistic implementation here. So what I can do is, let's change this Doom. Can edit the name. Doom Eternal. Let's go with that. There we go, incremental. And I can tie it to a statistic. I need to create it first. Statistics, creation. Oh no, it's already here. Copy that. Do that. Change the list to incremental. There we go. That was still loading. Let's set this as 25. Need to check my statistics. Statistics value, ID, that. About 84, which means I would have unlocked it already. And I did. And I do. Let's see. I do. I unlocked that. So that's done. We got the list and we got the unlock working by killing the enemy from the first frag. And the flawless win, it's untested. Let me check that because the AI put it wrongly, incorrectly. It should be in the monster kill instead of player death. So let's try that again. Next time I kill a player, the console log should print out it's already unlocked. There we go, already unlocked. Great, it's working.
Today I will try to inject or add leaderboards into the Quake one. I already tried to set up everything. This is my leaderboard. It's a monster kill leaderboard and have a cycle attached to it. So everything should be set up along with the start code that we already have. Okay, let's see. So I already told Claude to create a new class that is AB statistic class because we need retrieve statistic first and we need to retrieve cycle. And after that, we will need to retrieve leaderboard. So I think I will try to create 3 classes today and see how it goes. I don't know if we'll be able to go as far as UI for that, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's read Claude's plan. I want to expose everything through CAP because I want the game itself to drive things instead of the AB that is only used to house the APIs, I would say, in some states. Yeah, that's good. Great. Set user. I don't know if we need to set user. I think I would rather have user being held by the AB instance rather than set separately to every classes here. Yes, yes. Put text. Currently, we don't need this. Okay. Instancy wrapper, cache instance. Yeah, that's true. Add public. No, we don't need to do this. Okay, I see. And it's a reference, not a const reference. Or maybe we should have overload, but a const method. I mean, yeah, the const version, the const reference version of the AB statistic can be called to call const method of AB statistic. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's reread the plan. User start float strategy. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, needs to verify. That's true. Additional rights on the log. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Okay, let's move on to AMV's leaderboard. Try to build. We need a mechanism to actually get from the user. See the actual result. Yes, start building. Okay, AccelByte start monster kill. AccelByte cycle leaderboard 3 points. Okay, number 1. Okay, there you go. You got leaderboard. I think next I will start with making the call asynchronous, and then I will try to have an UI to show the leaderboard. Today I will write the UI for the leaderboard. I will start from the UI first, make sure that everything is working, and then after that I will move to an all call asynchronous. After that we should be done. So I already told Claude to create the UI today, and yeah, here's the question that asked me, and here's my answer. So let's wait for it to synthesizing the answers. I forgot my plan first. Then let's see. Okay. There's the menu. All right. Yeah, I think I want some background for this. But let me try to build for Linux. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, I think that could be it for the leaderboard. To have username, we need to have proper login. I think I can change the login after this. And yeah, let's move on to asynchronous calls. Now we need to make all calls go through should async, and we need to make sure the callback will be called sedimentary. It's okay to use coffee. Okay, so every class need a reference to pass runner. I think we can tell Claude that he can look at login and see what. Let's try, see what happened. I'll try to debug now. Okay. We got proper async file now. Ah, nice. Oh, good. I think that's it. We got full async call. We got the leaderboard UI properly implemented.
Okay, so we've got the AccelByte SDK integrated here and device login after opening the menu. We're going to add some matchmaking to here. And for the first step there, going to be connecting to the lobby so we can get notified a matchmaking match result. So we can ask Claude to for us. Let's give that a try. Okay, so go up the menu to get it to log in and connect, hopefully. Great, now that's working. We can go ahead and submit a match ticket. First, in order to do that, we'll need to add it to the menu. So okay, well, let's give it a try. Multiplayer. Find match menu item. Okay. Now that's working. We can go ahead and get it to submit a match ticket, except for things first. Well, we can do this first, and then we'll go set up matchmaking in the portal. While it's doing that, we might as well go set up the match pool. I'm going to go to multiplayer matchmaking, matchmaking configuration. We're going to go ahead and use the create a new rule set, default template. Okay, doesn't have to be the same, but it makes it easier. Just keep auto backfill. And let's say we want to go from 1 to 4 players. Pick a new match pool. We're going to use our Quake FFA rule set. Let's just choose default. We can change that later if we need to. Oh, that should do. Don't need to customize any of it. Good. Summary. Okay. Let's go see if Claude is done. Oh, there we go. Just whether way you want. Good. So now we just need to join the session. Okay, done. Let's see how it goes. All right. Connected to lobby, create a match ticket, join the session, start as host, patch the session up. That's not going to work. Okay, now that we've got matchmaking working, I want to make dedicated server run in AMS so we can matchmake into it. Unfortunately, the SDK that we're using here doesn't actually implement the watchdog protocol, so we're going to have to do that from scratch. Okay, well, it launches now, but I think we want to make sure that NS is getting enabled. The other thing we're going to have to specify is the port. Great. We're going to need this command line when we configure our fleet. I want to give a quick check to what it actually did here. Make sure it's correct. I guess we don't need to run a Windows dedicated server anyway. We're going to have to build it for Linux. All right, well, I don't have the SDK source to build the Linux libraries just now, but I can solve that problem later because we can run the dedicated server Windows using AMSIM and do the end-to-end. I'll try that for now. Okay, well, let's get AMSIM so we can test this out when in a watchdog listening. I'm in here to the admin portal and multiplayer servers. Don't have an AMS account. Let's make a new one. It's ready. We're gonna need to go to downloads and I'm gonna grab this one. We'll need this one later once we can do Linux builds, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. Just go here and grab it. Okay, I should have put it here, right? There we go. Then we can run AMSIM run. Okay, now if we run the dedicated server, it will connect. Hey, it's working. Now you can see also, if we're going to AMSIM, we should see yes, connected. And it's in state creating because we're not calling ready yet. Cloud Prem working. Good. So DSID, how about this? And let's try it again. Is ready. Excellent. Okay, now quit it in a sim because we need to make this show up as a local DS. Here we go. The portal. Now we're going to go to Fleet Manager and actually on servers, local server. Okay, so this is where we should see it when it shows up. But you need to fill out the AMS config. Environment URL, namespace. Now we'll need a client ID and secret for this to work. And let's fill in this for localhost. I don't need that part. All right. So now it's connecting to my environment, but it's not able to authenticate because we haven't filled in the client ID in secret. So let's go here, go to identity and X. I am client, so we're going to need to create a new one. The name is going to be confidential. And copy. Has to be this. Now it's going to need some permissions. Let's go see what those need to be. In our local server, we can see that there's some links to the documentation here. So we're going to need this permission. And that should do it. From now, pop back over here, give it a shot. We get connected. So that should show us on the local servers. Nothing here yet because we don't have a Quake DS running, but we run it. And DS connected, ready signal send. And here you go. This is our dedicated server all ready to claim. So now we've got a TS showing up portal ready to claim. And now I've got the Linux binaries for building a Linux DS. But first, there's a couple of other changes we need to make. So first thing is we're going to need to handle the drain signal in the dedicated server. So okay, so let's give that to Claude to implement. All right, Claude is done. So let's try it out. Okay. DS is connected. It's in ready. What if we say DS drained? Then it sends a drain signal and it exits. So that's great. Let's try with the player connected to make sure that it doesn't exit immediately when it drains. We're going to have to change configuration from dedicated server to just the regular one. Okay, I guess we have to use the debug config for some reason. Launch it. Then we should be able to join the player, join a game. And the port is, what port did we run it on? 27015. Trying. Oh, I don't think it's going to work. Wonder if that's my server running on WSL is the problem. Well, as long as we use a Windows dedicated server and client, can't work. So we start that up. Sure, we know what port it is, what it's worth listening to. Then start this up. Connect 172. 7L15. And we're connected. So, see over here, that's still running. Player entered the game. And here, if we say guest drain, sent the drain signal, but drain received, waiting for one player to disconnect. Now, if we quit, and both of them go away. Okay, so next, we're going to need to update the matchmaking logic to connect to the dedicated server. Let's give that to Claude to implement. I think I want to chat about that. That's what the logic is implemented. Let's try it out. I started a Windows DS and it's connected to AMS Sim, which has registered it with AMS. It's currently in the ready state, available to claim. I've also started a game client which we'll use to find a match. Great, it's found a match and connected to the dedicated server. If we refresh the status in the admin portal, we can see that the server is now claimed.
Okay, so we've implemented leaderboard achievement and physical multiplayer. So I think I will start explaining from leaderboard side what we've done. So here we've implemented leaderboards for Quake. We have two leaderboards. First is monster kill, and yeah, there's no data here now because this user hasn't played the single player game, and monster kill is about mostly the single player game. But we have another leaderboards. This is multiplayer filling, multiplayer scores. And now we have 6 players already. It's with their own user ID. And yeah, I think that's about it. I mean this score will progress the more we play multiplayer.
Okay, so for the achievement from the previous recording, could you enter the achievement? I've added 2 more things for the connected achievement and the first blood. That's for the multiplayer achievement. So that will only unlock on multiplayer. For the connected one, it's joining any multiplayer game and that'll be unlocked. And for first blood, is killing an enemy player. And I said everything else is the exact same as the previous recording.
All right. And I think for multiplayer, we need to directly debug.
Yeah.
Very good. Let's demonstrate the multiplayer. Yeah, let us know if you ready to find match.
Searching for match, I can.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Searching for match.
Now we'll see how this theory pans out.
Yeah. Okay, joining session.
Waiting for host.
I'm hosting again.
When?
Max 3.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Bjorn, maybe you can do some explanation while we are playing.
Like, I mean,
Well,
yeah, I mean, it can bring up the most interesting stuff as far as integration happens in a terminal where it says now just achievements and things, but somewhere here, match ticket, here's the match ticket, and then joining session, and then shows other people joining.
oh yes, on my terminal there on the right side.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's it.
Yeah, cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Except for the delay, it's cool.
Yeah. That's why I'm top of the leaderboard. No lag.